So one of my all-time favorite teachers on this planet is the late Wayne Dyer, and I think of him often and all that I've learned from him, and I always go back and reread his books and re-listen to his teachings on audio and video. And I think one of the things that he speaks to that I hear again and again in life, and I try to find a way to communicate to people, is how to deal with negativity, how to deal with whether that's um, negative situations or perceived negative situations and or perceived negative feedback from people. And I remember a quote from him, and it was really funny, from one of his lectures, and he was talking about somebody who had sent him a letter, and it was very negative. And he said this was he pointed out that this was earlier on in his career, and he still hadn't really mastered the art of um, forgiveness and or kind of just being grounded. So he was reading the letter, and he was kind of upset, and he was hurt by what the person was saying in it. So he sat down and he said, he wrote a response. And I don't know that he said he ever sent the response, but it was pretty funny. He said, something to the tune of, I just got done reading your letter, and I'm in the smallest room in the house. And I right now have your letter in front of me, and in a moment it'll be behind me. And so I'll explain this just because some of you might not get this, because apparently people don't write letters anymore. But obviously, the smallest room in the house is the bathroom, typically. And he had the letter in front of him, and obviously behind him, he meant he was wiping his behind with it. So the point being, at the time, he still took things personally instead of understanding that somebody's feedback to them often is just their projection of their own issues to them. So the point being, as far as it relates to Wayne Dyer, is there's going to be perceived positivity and or negativity in life, and what you choose to do with it, how you react to it or respond to it, is completely up to you. Whatever situation there is, there's always a positive you can take out of it, no matter how traumatic it was to you or other people around you. The same thing for somebody else's response to you. You can have somebody who's quote unquote a hater. That was another thing that Wayne Dyer talked about that I think was wonderful, which was he was talking about how when we were growing up, or when he was growing up, there wasn't even like the hater term didn't even really exist. And I think John Favreau talked about that in one of his movies. It might have been Chef, I'm not sure. But he said that the term hater never even existed. It was maybe somebody who's envious of you or they are jealous, but that's not the same as the term hater. So even if you quote unquote have those haters, you don't have to respond to them. You don't have to even really acknowledge them necessarily. You just do what you're doing and stay on purpose and stick to your mission and be true to yourself, and try to do the best that you can to stay kind of in the good vibrations of life and focus on staying kind of, as a lot of people say, in flow, or in the vortex, in the zone, in the pocket, whatever you want to call it. And make sure that you understand that where you determine where you stand. You determine how you are going to, proceed forward. You make up your own mind. You make your own decisions, and you operate within your own structure. So let's, keep the responsibility to yourself, and you're obligated to nobody else, other than to do your best with what you have, where you are, and to keep moving forward. And if you're in a situation where you feel like you're being challenged, or you feel like there's negative situations around you, you can always choose to move forward and move out of those situations. And this is a great book. It's one of Wayne's first. It might be his actual first. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. A lot of great stuff in there, even though it's from the 70s. I'm from the 70s, so hopefully there's a lot of great stuff coming out of the 70s. Melissa's from the 70s, so there you go. That's all I got on that. But Wayne Dyer, we're all human. People are gonna make mistakes. We're gonna get upset sometimes. Sometimes we're gonna make the wrong decisions. You know, be honest with yourself. You don't have to necessarily be hard on yourself. You can choose to, really see what you want in a situation, be honest about the situation, but at the same time, you don't have to get down on yourself forever. And there's an opportunity to grow where you are and to go after what you see as your mission, but you have to take action. Just because I'm talking about this, spiritual stuff and foo-foo-y stuff doesn't mean that we're not talking about taking massive action and staying on purpose and being accountable and owning up to what it is that have told yourself are your goals. I mean, there's some great opportunities out there, and if you're working smart and you're working hard, chances are you're gonna push past people if you've got those great morning routines and your habits are phenomenal and you're a good decision maker and so on and so forth. I could go on forever talking about this stuff, so hopefully some of this resonated with you, and give yourself a little bit of a break today, but keep taking action and focus on yourself. If you're a trainer, if you're a coach, you still need to focus on yourself and then focus on your athletes. Same thing with being a parent. Focus on yourself first, and then focus on your student athletes in your family, your kids, and do the best to help them out. But make sure that if you're telling somebody to have a good morning routine, you have a good morning routine. If we're not perfect in everything that we do, and that's okay. But keep striving to become better. Good luck. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Flow on.